doing this one this week.
Yeah, there's a lot on the table here. But, I mean, the Padres are riding a 5-game winning streak. It's good times right now.
Friars are 22-11. Thank God they're playing the Pirates amongst other people. Now they're getting most of their hurt people back healthy. That's a real positive. Now they can play real people. Padres, Yankee Stadium. What an emotional rush for these guys to go into the house that Ruth built. And the Padres lined up the pitching staff. They got Pivetta, they got King, they got Cease. They're throwing her 3 best against the New York Yankees. And I'll tell you what, we came through the incident in which Tatis got beamed on the elbow. Man, I thought he fractured his forearm with that elbow. Luckily, he broke a blood vessel. Next day, they padded it up. He's out there swinging a bat. Manny Machado's hot. Arise is spraying balls all over the place since he came off the disabled list. Now, this is not vintage Yankee baseball. I mean, this is Yankee baseball without Garrett Cole, without Marcus Hill, without Marcus Stroman, without Clark Schmidt. They're down 5 starters in all and down a couple of relievers. They're also without Jazz Chisholm, Giancarlo Stanton, and DJ Matthew. This is not a great Yankee team, and yet the Yankees are having themselves a pretty decent season because of Aaron Judge. I can't wait to see the Padres' big 3 against Aaron Judge, who's hitting .432 with 11 bombs.
That's all?
That's all. And already in New York, the tabloid beat writers, they're writing, can this guy hit 400 this year? Can this guy go where nobody's gone since Ted Williams in 1941 when he hit 406? Now, we're a month into this. You know, we did see Judge tail off last year in postseason really, really badly, but he's hitting .432. I think he's done a great job this season. So I'm just fascinated with that. Dodgers, well, they had won 7 in a row. They got beat in Atlanta because Dustin May gave up a couple of home run balls on Sunday night. I don't know if you heard about this. They sat through a 3-hour and 5-minute rain delay, and they didn't start the game till well after 10 p.m. Atlanta time. And then they played 3 hours and 6 minutes of baseball in damp conditions. Dustin May kind of got banged around again. It's a 3rd straight start that he hasn't dominated. He hasn't been killed, but hasn't dominated. Dodgers starting to hit home runs, though. Here comes Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez hitting home runs. But their pitching staff is really thin. I mean, they're sitting there. They got a 3-man starting rotation. They're down 3 starters, and they're down 3 relief pitchers that are still on the disabled list. Now, Tommy Edman's gone on the deal, and he carried them offensively. He's got an ongoing ankle problem. They've just called up the Korean second baseman, Hae-Sung Kim, who hit .252 at AAA Oklahoma City. The Dodgers in Miami. They're playing bad teams right now, too. So the Dodgers are sitting there 23-11, half game above the Padres. The schedule says the Angels have to play games. The schedule says the Angels are likely going to lose games. Tell you, when you have no hitting and you have no pitching, you had no hope. They got drilled by the Detroit Tigers again over the weekend, got killed. Tigers hit 3 bombs. Reese Olson, a rookie, showed up through 8 strikeouts in 5 innings. Team batting average is .210 in Anaheim. Team ERA is 4.72 in Anaheim. Team in Anaheim has lost 10 of its last 12. Where's the hope? Is there any hope at all for Halo baseball? Okay, let's talk Padre Big 3 versus Judge. You want to talk Dodger ball? You want to talk Halo ball? Podium is yours.
When you mentioned that the Dodgers had a 3-hour rain delay with the Braves, I just got flashbacks of watching Andy Griffith on WTBS.
Forever.
Yeah. Well, we're experiencing a rain delay here at Fulton County Stadium, you know. So, you know, I didn't realize the Dodgers had won so many in a row there. So, yeah. I mean, the Dodgers, they're going to be fine. They're back in the number 1 in the power rankings, you know, and so, yeah, whatever. Padres, you know, did you read Kevin Acey's, not really a column, he has like sort of a notebook that he does. It was a really interesting discussion he had with Michael King, saying how he still keeps in touch with Aaron Judge and their friends, and that he's now looking at this lineup, and there's only a few guys left that were on the team when he was there.
Yeah, well, I mean, Soto is gone. They got so many guys on the disabled list, and free agency, they let some guys go along the way. It's a very different batting order. You look at him and you say, outside of Aaron Judge, who scares you? But boy, Judge does scare you. I mean, for him to have this lineup around him that's kind of iffy, for him to be hitting 432 with 11 gongs already, wow.
Well, how about Trent Grisham? I mean, he's like suddenly resurrected himself. He has his OPS is over 1,000.
Yeah, but he's not playing very much because Cody Bellinger's in front of him, and Bellinger's hitting a $198.
Jimmy, that Bellinger is that one guy that he'll have that one good year and he fools you and then he gets the big contract. Then he goes back to being in the dumps.
He did it with the Dodgers, did it with the Cubs.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go again. So I know this game is questionable if it's going to actually, they're going to play. I saw the starting lineup and they don't even have Jackson Merrill in the starting lineup. So they're probably keeping him out of the mud, like the Kentucky Derby. They don't want him to pull that hammy again. So I don't know. It's a great time to be a Padre fan, but I still have that grudge mode about the 98 World Series and Mark Langston threw that strike, remember? And the umpire called it a ball. And then I can't remember who was batting in that. Was that Bernie Williams or someone? And then they ended up going yard, and then the tide turned, and the Padres had no shot.
Was that Langston or Sterling Hitchcock?
No, it was definitely Langston pitching.
Well, Hitchcock had another incident somewhere in one of those World Series.
Yeah, so that we got payback still, 20 or 30 years later.
I'm fascinated to see the big three against Judge.
Oh, yeah, I think it'll be terrific, and all three of those guys are generally pitching pretty well. Hey, what'd you think of Kolek in that start?
It was interesting. Kolek's comment in the clubhouse after the game was, my God, this is hard. Yeah, for him. I mean, he was talking about the stress level of facing a batting order first time through, second time through. He got to the fourth and fifth inning. I think he was mentally drained because you got to be on your beam. It's not like coming in out of the pen and throwing heat to two batters and hope you get him out in the eighth inning. He said, wow, this is really freaking hard.
Yeah, and I think he went through the lineup twice.
Yeah.
He says, imagine going through it a third. But Elias Diaz was praising him for the way he was working in his pitches. And so I think it's terrific. I think there's a promise and a future for him as a starter.
Judge
is awesome. Judge is like,
here come the Judge.
Yeah, I know. And he's just a good guy, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when was he a first-round draft pick out of Fresno State?
I think he was. He was not a refined college star. He wasn't. I'm trying to think who are the great college stars. Robin Ventura, Mark McGuire.
Yeah.
He was nowhere near that when he came out of Fresno State.
And there was I don't recall a lot of hype around him, like the Bryce Harper situation.
Just kind of climbed through the
He just all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, the Yankees landed another winner. And like the Angels, who are they going to play next? They just finished with the Tigers. And who's next on the schedule? You
had to ask me. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I mean, there's nothing to talk about with them.
This feels so hopeless. With Trout being hurt again and the starting pitching staggering, and Kenley Jansen gave up 3 home runs out of the bullpen in 1 inning to Detroit.
Oh my God.
And Ben Joyce is on the disabled list, the other closer with shoulder issues. They just don't have any players.
Well, we were saying how they had a lot of players suddenly. They had working pieces. I mean, how's Jorge Soler doing?
If 224 is okay, then I guess he's okay. He's hit some home runs, but he's not hitting. Tim Anderson is not hitting. Looks like he may have just woken up and lost his ability to swing the stick. The catcher, Logan O'Hoppe, had the great start. Neto, the shortstop, finally came back, hit with a little bit of power. Chanel has the best batting average of all. Joe Adell is Joe Adell, hits some home runs and hits 189 or whatever it is right now. To me, I look at the lineup, I say, how the hell are you going to compete for 162 games with these guys? And now you don't have Trout.
How long's he out?
Don't know yet.
But it was a hamstring that he pulled?
No, knee.
The knee. That's worse, right?
Yeah, well, he slammed it on the bag going across the bag. Bone bruise.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
he was running hard. I remember I saw that.
Pounding it.
So he just kind of hit that and then just kind of just the jam the knee when he hit it, right?
Exactly. Okay, so those are all things. Padres, Dodgers, Angels, fans forum, chat box is open. You are requested to have an opinion. Get on board. Give us are you excited to see the big three of the Padres against Aaron Judge? How cool is that?